In this video, we're going to explore some of the ramifications of our song a little more fully. As you might remember, we started off with the 1 centimeter cube that represented our unit, and the song went like this. If you can regroup, you must regroup, and this is how you do it. And this is 10. So that tells us that because of subtizing and chunking, when we create a new unit, we do so on the basis or the base of 10 of the preceding units. Now, if we look very carefully at what we've done so far, it's a fair question to ask, how many times have we sang the song right now? And I would suggest that at this point we have sang the song 0 times. And so singing the song 0 times, well, what does it look like? Well, it looks like this. All right, that's what it looks like. So when we sing the song 0 times, it looks like this. And in fact, if we were to put a symbol for that, this symbol would look like this. 1 is equal then to 10 to the 0 power. Some of you might have learned this as an abstract fact in your college algebra course, but it's always kind of nice to see that it makes sense. So when we start with a unit and we haven't sang the song at all, at 10 to the 0 power, then that gives us just the unit itself, or 1. Now, when we sing the song the first time, and you notice how I'm recording this is my base, that is how we do it. And we have now sang the song 1 time, and it looks like this. So 10 to the first power, we now know what that looks like. It looks like one of these long things, like this. And when we think, what is that equal to? Well, let's take a look. It's equal to a 1 followed by 1, 0. So we can represent that as 10. Of course, we know it's a 10. But another way of saying that is we have 1 in this place value. And the place value is what we get when we take this base and we see how many we have when we raise it to this exponent. So we're generating some vocabulary here. In terms of our song, the base is how we do it. The exponent is the number of times we have sang the song, and the place value is the result of raising that base to that exponent. So let's see what happens when we do it again. We create our 100. How many times have we sang the song? Well, let's take a look. We've sang the song once. We have sang the song twice. So it looks like this, 10 to the 2nd power. Some of you might recognize this as being 10 squared. I guess when you take a look at what the shape is, we can see why that's a perfectly good name, can't we? It's 10 squared, because if we look how big it is, it's 10 units from here to here, and 10 units from here to here. So you see, it really is 10 to the 2nd power. Another way of naming that, of course, is 10 squared. And let's see how we would record that. Well, we'd write our 1 followed by 2 zeros. So our base is how we do it. That's our 10. Our exponent is the number of times we have sang the song. Our place value is what we get after we've actually done that. When we sing the song a 3rd time, it kind of uses up our space here, but let's see if we can picture what that might look like. Hopefully, you will remember our old friend, the 1000 cube. This is a repeating pattern that certainly want to make sure it's in our minds. And so we ask ourselves, well, what does it look like? And what it looks like is it looks like a very large cube. I will bet that some of you will remember another name for 10 to the third power is 10 cubed. I believe we can see why at this point. So let's review. This is our base, the how we do it. This is the number of times we have sang the song. What is the place value? Well, the place value is 1 followed by 3 of the zeros. Now, in base 10, you'll notice that this shape, the large cube, and this shape, the small cube, are the same. This is what would be called a similar figure, as we'll learn later when we talk about geometry. So how can we tell them apart? Well, one of the ways we tell them apart is we put a comma. And so now we know that we are talking about 1 here, but 1 what? Well, 1 of the 1,000 cubes. So this place value is 1 of the units. This place value is 10 of the units. This place value is 100 of the units. And now this is a new type of place value. This would be the thousands. And thousands can come in ones. Thousands can come in tens. Thousands can come in hundreds. And the cycle will repeat. And every time the cycle repeats, we get to put down another comma. Now, of course, it doesn't have to stop here, does it? We can raise our bass and we can sing the song n times. That sounds a little scary, but it doesn't have to. When we sing the song 10 times, how do we do it? Well, 10. What is our exponent? Our exponent is n. What is our place value? Well, our place value would be 1, followed by n zeros. So our song turns out to have quite a bit more utility than what you probably thought the first time you heard it. The key to unlocking this is to remember that the how you do it represents the base. The number of times you do it represents the exponent, and the place value is what we get after we have sang the song that many times. This really is the essence of base 10, and it shows how, going back to subitizing and chunking, we can build this visual representation from 0 to 9, and then psychologically use increasing powers of 10 to represent any number that we would like. So we've now developed a way of visualizing any integer whole positive number.